What's going on, everyone? So, now that Courtney Cox is officially back for the upcoming Scream 7, this is something we always kind of knew was coming, right? It kind of felt like a matter of when, not if. She even kind of touched on it, and it was just the expectation was that she's going to be on, that she's going to sign on, and she's going to be a part of it sooner rather than later, right? And now that we have official confirmation, I wanted to kind of dive into and kind of have a discussion on what do we want to see from her character and just Scream 7 and the way that they go about Courtney Cox and, of course, Gale Weathers' character, because she is so significant. She is so important. I mean, she is the only character that has been in every Scream movie at this point, right? Sydney was not in Scream 6, so literally Gale is it. Gale has been in more Scream films than any other character outside of Ghostface, of course. But that's the thing, right? Like, she is so important. She is so significant. And, her character development and her story arc for her character is the best in the entire franchise. Even more than Sydney, right? Her development from 96 to even just the original trilogy, right? And then you add in Scream 4 and her going and being a stay-at-home just wife and having writer's block and trying to figure that out and navigate that, and the struggle she's having of just kind of being the wife to a sheriff in a small town, right, and giving up 60 minutes to and speaking engagements and all this stuff. And from what we saw in Scream 3 with her talking about days felt like years in Woodsboro, but willing to look past that and get by that for Dewey. Her going from somebody that it was like, is she really killing everybody, right? Like, is she like staging the news here, or is this just like, what's the deal here, right? Like, thought that would kind of interesting, and then lo and behold, it's like, oh, okay, like, there we go. It's not her. She just is that cutthroat, right? And then her kind of getting lighter and lighter, but still kind of that lone wolf in many ways, right? And she's just somebody that I really feel in Scream 5 and 6 just kind of got the poo-poo end of the stick, right? Like, I felt like they didn't do a great job with her character and building and telling the story of Gale Weathers, right? Even the whole Gale and Dewey story, it didn't make sense. If you've watched Scream movies, it doesn't make sense, right? Dewey was never the one that left Gale. And I get that they were trying to do this, like, reverse thing, like Dewey was a coward, and that's why he became this hermit and all that stuff. But you could have done all the same stuff and just had Gale leave Dewey again, like she always has. And it would have made even more sense because she lived in Woodsboro for so long with her husband that was the sheriff, and she wasn't able to do the work and do the things that she needed. And it would have been great to just kind of tell a story of, like, Gale Weathers, who had writer's block, right? Ghostface shows up. She ends up, solving, writing a book, telling the story, and that kind of gets her back in the groove, gets her back in the mood to do it. Maybe she has, like, another bestseller. Maybe she has another, book that does well, and then that prompts her to go do that morning show and stuff. And then, Dewey doesn't want to go, and he's just like, no, like, I'm the sheriff. I can't just, pack up and leave and stuff. And, you could have had that struggle instead, and it would have fit with, it would have given the continuity, right? But regardless, like, Gale Weathers she's very important. She's very significant. She's a character that we need to have purpose on, right? I mean, I'm not against her dying. I'm not against her, coming to her end. I obviously want it to be meaningful and have purpose and reason as to why. I don't want her just to die, right? Like, I want there to be substance to her death and the reason that she dies. But, Scream 6, she should have died, right? Like, her character served no purpose. Like, nothing she did in Scream 6 had any substance to it. None of it. Right? Like, the only thing that she did was discover the shrine room and show everybody. But Dermot Mulroney's character, Detective Bailey, said himself that he was going to, reveal that to everybody. So it wasn't something where like she went and spoiled their plans or just kind of, got in the way. It's like, oh, Gale did this. Like, no, nothing. Like business was as usual. And then, yeah, I liked her scene, her attack scene, but it's just like you did all that to not kill her and have her be announced alive, and we didn't even get to see her. It was off camera, right? Like it was Mindy in like a throwaway line. It's just those little things are the things that are frustrating. Those little things are the things that are disappointing to me, right? Because I want these characters in this film, but I also want them to serve a purpose. Otherwise, you shouldn't have them in this film. If you can't write a good, convincing part for Gale Weathers and have her have some significance, then don't have her be in this film, right? Like, unless it's just like the opening scene kill or something like that, right? Like, there's no reason to have her in the film just to say, oh, hey, look, we got Courtney Cox, got Gale Weathers, right? Like, and also it's funny that Courtney's doing this because she wanted to be killed off in Scream 4. And now you fast forward and she's going to be in 3 other Scream films since then, which I think is crazy. But it does kind of feel like, how much longer is she going to keep this up? How much longer is she going to want to do it? I mean, look, if she wants to do it forever, let her do it forever. But, at some point, is she kind of like, okay, like it's ran its course, right? I did 7 of these things, right? Like, I'm good now. I'm the longest running tenure or whatever. Right now, there are talks about this kind of potentially being the beginning of a new trilogy, kind of focused around Sydney and Gale and them. So, maybe she is on board for a couple more films. That could be a possibility, right? Like, but again, you need to have purpose. Can't just have her in the film just to have her in the film, right? Like, you need to be able to do her character justice. You need to be able to really, do right by her character because she is so important. She is so significant. She's not just a throwaway character. She's not just somebody that, you read a handful of lines and that's it, right? And if, again, like I mentioned earlier, if you can't write her in a convincing manner, then don't have her in it. Now, I do, with Kevin Williamson back into the mix and back into the fold, I do have more confidence, right? I am much more confident just because, Kevin Williamson, these are his characters, right? These are the ones that he wrote originally and developed and stuff. So I do have a little more excitement for it. I do have a little more belief. In Gale Weathers, I do think that her character will be kind of provided more, and given more substance. But there's still that thought in the back of my mind of like, hey, these guys didn't do a great job in the previous 2 films, and now I'm trusting you to do it right now, the third go around, right? And it's like, you should have probably killed her in the last film, and you didn't. And it's like, okay, so like, are you gonna kill her in this film? Is she gonna be alive in this film? Is she gonna die later? Is she going to be the opening scene? Is she not going to be the opening scene? Right? Like, whatever they decide to do, I need them to deliver with her. Right? Like, character development, period, it feels like has gone down more and more every film. But in particular, with Scream 5 and 6, it's just like, Scream 5, what characters had real substance? What characters mattered? What characters did we care about? What characters, like, we've had the core 4, Chad, Mindy, Sam, and Tara for 2 films, and we still don't know who any of them are, right? Scream 5 didn't tell us who they were. It was just like, oh, Mindy just gives a bunch of impromptu, crazy rants about movies, and then Chad is a jock. Oh, how do we know he's a jock? Oh, because he's wearing a Letterman jacket. Otherwise, you'd have no idea. Right? Like, it's just like, what? Like, it was so bad, people couldn't stand Sam in Scream 5. It's not good when people can't stand the main character that you're trying to grow and develop for your franchise. It's not really a good sign that, like, good things are coming. But hopefully they're able to work it out. Hopefully they're able to deliver on her and give us a good, convincing Scream movie, because we need it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? I feel, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with my points? Disagree with my points? Kind of mixed in the middle. I feel whatever your thoughts are. I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, If you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.